We wanna rock your world. Merry-go-round, rock your world.
What's up, guys? We're Tasteosis, and this is the GSL Code S. Welcome to the round of 16. I saw we had some youngsters there in the audience.
That's right. Quite a few people here today.
Babies love esports, too.
As they should. It is the future.
Yes.
And the present. So those are the two times during which babies are alive.
So we have a great lineup for you guys here today. This GSL, somewhat similar to the last GSL. Terran's really having a hard time as far as presence, although I got to say the two Terrans we got here, Maru and Innovation, certainly you couldn't ask for two better Terrans here, but it's another season where Protoss and Zerg are doing very well.
It certainly is. You know, that kind of sucks, but it's going to take a while to get the Terrans back in here.
Yeah, I mean, they'll eventually be filtered back in, but and I mean, I think the changes that Blizzard's made over the past few patches has been good, but at the same time, the way that we have here, the way we have it set up here in the GSL, it takes a little bit longer to get the right players back in there after those changes have been made.
Indeed, it's a tough hill to climb, that's for sure.
Certainly is. Today we have 3 Protosses and a Zerg. Should be a lot of great PvPs.
3 of the players in this group are from SKT1.
That's
so
true.
Definitely something to keep in mind.
Yeah, we got to watch out for some weirder than normal games because, you have the meta game, let's take the big meta game, which is, all the Protosses are, let's say fast expanding nowadays. Then you take a tighter meta game. Okay, what are they doing on the Korean server at the high levels? Well, then you go into an even tighter meta game, which is the microcosm of what do the teammates do in their practice house against each other, and then how are they going to try to psych each other out in matches where they know each other and each other's play styles so well. I mean, these guys live together. They talk about their builds, their strats, their views on the matchups and the maps that they're played on. So we could have some pretty out there games, some possible crazy cheeses. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I do think we're definitely going to see some all-ins here today, Tasteless, if I had to guess.
I think so. Probably more than we normally see.
Well, it should be a good day nonetheless. Really rooting for CJ Hero to be able to get through here. So
as you can see here with the players by race, as we were mentioning earlier, I mean, there's just two Terrans left. We started out with 4. We had 14 Protosses and 14 Zergs. As you can see, 7 of each of those moved on.
That's 50% for each race, which seems fair to me.
Yes. For the Protosses, Zestrain, Stork, Paralyzed, Classic, Party, and Hero. Those are great Protosses, all of them with very different play styles, very different histories. Some of them about as new school badass as you can get, like Zest. And then, of course, players like Stork, who are way old school back from the Brood War days. Our Zergs as well. We have some fantastic ones. Players like Life, inspirational, aggressive Zergs. We got players like Sulky, where they're just perfectly balanced macro Zergs. It's going to be really sick to see each of these groups unfold A to D.
Yeah, look at that Group D, Tasteless. Holy crap.
Yeah, that's, I think, the group of death. I think it's the most interesting because we got one of each race, and I mean, anybody can get out of that group.
Yeah, that's a pretty crazy group right there. I'm really looking forward to Group D.
I am hoping to see the 2 Terrans advance a little bit further. In fact, I think it would be the coolest story ever.
100% Terran advancement rate.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty crazy.
Well, you know what would be really cool, though, is if we had a Terran win, because that would bring us back to that feeling we had in the very first season of GSL where the Zergs weren't doing well, except for Fruit Dealer, who eventually won the whole thing.
True.
So we could have something cool like that. We're going to be going to the interviews of the players here shortly to see what their thoughts are against their opponents and how far they think they're going to go in this GSL. All right, so here are our 4 players. Excuse me. And we're going to see if we can't coerce them into some trash talk here. Here's Party.
그리고 거기서 항상 만나면은 원희상의 패배를 안겨준 어윤 선수도 있어요. 개인적으로 문규리 MC가 뽑은 A조 어떻게 생각하세요?
일단 저번 16강 제 기억으로는 제 옆에 지금 16강에서 인터뷰할 때 문규리 아나운서님이 계셨는데.
He says, well, when I have a winning interview with Cutie,
농담이고 조 이렇게.
She was beside me, but she's not here today. I think she's run away.
또 제가 안델롬인가 봐요.
진짜로? 약간 두려움이 좀 있습니까? 아니 원희석이 천하의
I feel pretty unlucky actually.
항상 자신감 넘치는 원희석이 왜 이렇게 왜 이래요?
방송용이고 이거는.
So he's saying you're one of the most confident players out there. How can you be saying you're not so confident here today?
오늘 보면은 어려운 상대가 있잖아요. 어윤수 선수. 우선 뭐 첫 번째 대지는 아니지만.
Well, in my heart, I'm going to take first place.
만나면은 뭐 정말 박대만 해설위원이 키우는 강아지 같이 정말 순해졌어요.
But you couldn't really pull out your performance before when you were facing up against Sue. What's up with that?
하도 져가지고 이제 말도 안 나오더라고요. 이제 여기서 또 이번에 이기죠.
I actually lose a lot of matches against Sue.
근데 항상 제가 그렇게 좀 손쉽게 지더라도 자신감은 항상 있거든요. 그냥
since I'm always losing my matches against Sue, that doesn't mean that I'm losing my confidence.
그래서 만약에 오늘 만나게 된다면은 그냥 뭐 두려운 거 없이 그냥 할 만할 것 같아요.
I'm going to face Sue tonight.
그러면은 이게 같은 프로토스인 김준호 선수 같은 경우에는 어윤수 선수 상대 전적에서 천적 인간 상성이라는 이야기도 그냥 앞서 나가고
Basically saying I'm feeling just much more confident this time around.
김준호 선수가 생각하시기에 원희석 선수가 오늘 다시 한번 어윤수 만나면은 또 떨어져서 다시 지금 방황을
Now we're over here with the black sheep of the group, Hero.
Look at that, they all have the same shoes too.
What are your thoughts, he's asking, on parting? And when parting faces Sue, do you think he's going to be able to come back? Or do you think he's going to get knocked out of Code S? He says, yeah, I think it's going to affect parting. It's going to affect him mentally and physically a lot if he loses against Sue here tonight.
누가 더 김준호 선수에게는 쉬운 약간이나마 좀 쉬운 상대인가요? 솔직히.
So for you, parting and Sue, between these two guys, who's actually better? And who's the easier player for you to take on?
윤수는 좀 쉬운 것 같아요.
This is actually a pretty good winning against Sue.
이삭이도 최근에 좀 많이 이겼는데.
So I'd say Sue's the easier opponent. All right, this is getting salty. And he's actually saying this group is a pretty easy group.
Looks easy.
So you got a pretty bad winning rate against Hero and Sue parting. And from what they're saying, it seems like you're the weakest opponent. And when I checked Twitter, you were saying you were already talking trash last night. What's up with that? When I lose the game, it's fun. When I'm winning, it's more fun. In the last season, I won against Classic, so I was kind of hoping to face off against him again. I was kind of trying to get a drive out of him. All right, let's talk to Classic now.
아니 무슨 보험회사도 아니고 지금 김도우 선수가 뭐 프로리그에 승수 쌓고 능력 있고 다른 팀 가면 에이스 카드로 활용할 수 있는 선수인데 SK텔레콤 T1의 원희석 선수가 왜 이렇게 작아지고 있어요?
일단 저번에 그냥 한번 졌을 뿐이고 뭐
Well, the last season I was just unlucky.
오늘 재미없게 해줄 거고 저번에 좀
When he won against me,
오늘 반드시
I guess he had a lot of fun, but he's probably not going to be feeling that way today.
만약에 조추천 방식이 아니라 조지명식 방식이었다면은 김도우 선수 입장에서 원희석 선수를 좀 지목했을 것 같은데 어떻게 생각하세요?
네, 저번에 좀 져서 좀 팀원한테 지면 화가 안 날 줄 알았거든요.
네.
되게 이삭이한테 지니까.
Well, in the last season, I thought that if I lost a match against my teammates, it'd probably be fine because it's my teammates. But
딱 뽑히는 거 보고 잘 됐구나 싶었어요.
when I lost against Parting, I was actually really pissed. So this time, I'm gonna crush him.
김준호와 어윤 선수 이야기를 했을 때는 고개를 숙이고 이러고 있었는데 김도우 선수가 이야기를 하니까 물 만나 물고기처럼 웃으면서 해맑게 좀 쳐다보고 있거든요. 여러분 강하게 좀 한번 말씀해 주시죠. 오늘 진짜 원희석 선수에게 어떤 경기 펼칠지.
So your face was down, Hero was talking. Well, when Classic was talking, your face was up.
다음번엔 이렇게 엎드려가지고 인터뷰할 수 있도록.
아 진짜로?
네, 만들게요.
예, 지금 약간 겁먹은 거 아니죠? 저 힘이 좀 안
Just today, I'm going to make everyone's face down by winning this entire group.
힘 있는 거 맞죠?
네, 있습니다.
아니 전 프로리그 결승에서.
He said, "You're that confident?" He says, "Yeah, I'm absolutely that confident."
그 강력한 포스의 선수가 원희석 선수에게 작아지면 안 되죠. 그럼 오늘 원희석 선수는 이 4명 중에서 몇 등 할 것 같아요?
So you were a big part of leading your team to winning the big title in Pro League.
저희 경기를 보고 있지 않을까 싶고.
Is there any comments to Parting?
뭐 알아서 떨어질 것 같아요.
예, 알아서 이제 스스로 이제 떨어질 거란 이야기를 했죠.
I think he's going to be the first player to be eliminated in this group.
오늘
So, he's just, so for the next round, he's going to be watching my matches through the TV.
근데 저번 16강에서도
What's your prediction for tonight's matches?
흘러갔거든요. 말씀하신 소름 돋는 게 말까지 똑같아요 지금까지 패턴도. 그래서
It's pretty much same as last season. I had a team kill last season, and the interview with the trash talk, it was all the same. It doesn't really affect my.
파이팅 하셨으면 좋겠습니다.
It doesn't affect me emotionally.
자, 앞으로 미리
So I'm going to pull out my best performance here today.
자, 우리 이어서 어윤수 선수 이야기를 나눠보도록 하죠. 어윤수 선수.
All right, let's talk to Sue.
원희석 선수가 정말 꿀이잖아요. 꿀이죠. 지금 3번 연속 만난 전부 다 이겼어. 이기고 4강 가고 막 결승 가고
So for you,
그랬잖아요.
Parting is the sweetest player.
오늘 이 두 선수의 지금 설전을 지금 옆에 지켜보셨는데 어떤
You've got a
결과를
huge winning rate against Parting. How do you predict the results here today?
둘 다 제 밥이기 때문에 그냥 밥들끼리 노는 것 같고.
예.
And both my teammates are actually really easy opponents.
그렇죠. 밥도 여러 가지 종류가 있잖아요. 저 밥 중에서도
I can't really take care of them now.
개인적으로 봤을 때는 누가 더
So they can take a second spot, whoever. That's their job. He says between Classic and Parting, who's easier, and Sue says.
아시듯이
예.
저기 고개 숙이고 있는 애가.
네. 지금 여기 있는 지금 아니 어떻게 하다가
The player who had his face down earlier is the weakest player.
예, 지금 이 사태에
So
대해서
Parting faced up all of a sudden.
일단
고개 숙이네요.
This is your thoughts, Parting?
예, 들고 상당히.
일단
왜 작아져요?
네, 일단
눈물인가요?
아니요, 눈물은 아니고
예.
꼭 한번 만났으면
He says, well, first of all,
그 세종전이도 한번 만나서
I really want to face off against Sue tonight now.
한번 인생을 한번 제대로 망쳐보도록 하겠습니다 오늘.
아니 목소리에 좀 자신감이 없어.
So I'm going to ruin his player life. How can I crush him is what he's asking himself now.
지난 시즌 이어서 결승전 한번 가야 되죠.
네, 가야죠.
네, 가기 위해서 이번 주에서 제1등으로 올라가는 게 가장 좋을 텐데 오늘 경기만.
So you told me before that you were going to make
일단
it to the finals 3 times in a row.
좀 편하게 올라갈 수 있을 것 같아요.
What's your goals here?
김준호 선수도
And he says, so all my opponents are so easy to go up against. It's going to be a breeze here tonight.
예, 알겠습니다. 김준호 선수 그럼 오늘 이 4명 중에서 누가 먼저 떨어질 거라 생각하세요?
So among the 4 players, who is the first player who's going to be eliminated here tonight?
제 시나리오 상으로는
In my scenario, I'd say.
괜찮습니다. 어차피 개인 리그는 혼자 하는 거니까요.
그렇죠.
예.
Yeah, he says, be honest, when teammates are not, who's your honest opinion? And I think he said Parting. Parting's getting owned right now, man. This is brutal.
It's all right. He'll come back.
All right, Hero, your thoughts. Any last words before we start this?
지난 프로리그 결승의 악몽을 되새기면서 왔고요. 오늘 갚아주려고 합니다.
그래 갚아야죠.
네, 열심히 응원해 주시면.
Tonight I'm actually thinking a lot about the Pro League playoffs.
처단하는 모습 보여드리겠습니다.
We faced SK Telecom before. This is going to be my revenge match for my whole team here, or for my team here tonight.
첫 번째 경기로 돌아오겠습니다.
All right, well that was actually some of the best trash talk we've had here at GSL.
Well, whenever Parting's involved, that's what you're going to get, Tasteless.
But Parting was talking trash on Twitter.
He always talks trash. It's just what
I
he
like
does.
that, man.
We gonna do something like this.
You know, I knew Parting might be having a hard time here today. I didn't expect everybody to be that confident. I mean, part of that might simply be because of the trash talk Parting dished out on Twitter.
I'm sure. He's, this is why Parting is so great. He's got, like, the best micro in the world, and he loves to talk trash.
Yeah. I got to say, I love casting StarCraft, but I love casting StarCraft even more when you get a personality like him.
Yeah.
Because he's going to make it interesting no matter what. So, again, 3 teammates here. which makes it very weird because we don't know exactly how they're going to play against each other. We don't know what it's like when they practice against each other. And Hero.
Yeah.
3 Protosses and 1 Zerg.
You know, I'm sure that all 3 of them will be at least somewhat happy as long as Hero doesn't make it out of the group. Definitely pushing for 2 SKT1
Did you notice that
through.
they had matching shoes?
Yeah, completely matching
Completely
uniforms.
matching outfits.
The only difference was their heads.
Yeah, and their faces, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's on their head, right? So
I was thinking more just...
Even they had the same arms
I think
coming
all
out
their
of
heads
sleeves.
were pretty similar, actually. They were all round and basically like human heads, but the faces were certainly...
They're not all human heads.
All right, going up against... going up against each other in this first match. It's going to be a PvP between Partying and Classic.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see how this one goes. Tasteless Classic is very solid. Of course, Parting, his micro, can't be touched.
His micro is perfect. He is so good at just eking out every little bit of damage. PvP, a very volatile matchup. Things can fall apart very quickly. And, you lose a Stalker too early on, and sometimes that snowballs in the game ends. So let's see how Classic does here against Partying. These 2 guys live together, train together, discuss the game daily. What are they going to do now, since this is, it's going to be a bloodbath by the end here today?
It certainly
Everybody's got to take everybody else out. This is not Pro League, man. This is the individual leagues.
Yeah, it's this is not for the team here.
Yeah.
Well, as you can see, Parting.
I believe the trash talk's already continued now into the chat log.
Oh, I'm sure, no doubt.
Yeah.
That's always been Parting's way. I used to love reading on the PC when we had one that what he would say to people in chat was always really, really funny.
Yeah.
Because he just gets right into it. Like, this guy just loves to trash talk Tasteless. It's a very light-hearted programmer.
It's fun. All right. He is going up against his opponent here, Classic. This guy is very scary. SK Telecom, easily the best StarCraft II team. And this guy is definitely a strong addition on that.
Yeah, I got to say, the teams are really stabilizing right now in Korea. We're getting like a lot of strong teams. SK, though, you have to give the gold medal to. Those guys are the best.
They've been the best forever.
Yeah,
like,
basically, yeah.
I mean, it always fluctuates, right? But they've pretty much been on top for a long time.
What are you going to do if Boxer makes a team in his prime? I mean, that team is going to go on forever, right?
Yeah.
And always be the best.
Yeah.
And here it is.
It is a best of 3. The loser will pick the next map. So let's see what exactly is going to happen with these 2. Our first map, wait for it.
I'm waiting.
Is Waystation. Okay,
our
first
that's a crazy
map's going
one.
to be Waystation.
I like it when we start Waystation because unless Shine is there, it's not going to get chosen.
It's not going to pick it.
Well, we'll see what these strats are going to be. Will it be the faraway starting spots? Will it be the close ones? I wonder if it's the faraway ones. That could make a very interesting PvP.
It could be, and of course, because this map has 4 starting locations, but you can only either be in the one guy in the upper left, other guy in the bottom right, or one guy in the bottom left, the other guy in the upper right. It's like 2 maps in one. So I'm really curious to see how exactly these guys prepared here for our first game. All right, the game is now loaded up, and we're going to start off today with a PvP here between Party and Classic in the most competitive StarCraft II show of all time, the GSL Code S. Over here in the upper left, we have our Protoss player 1 of 2.
SK Telecom T1 Party, 124.
And his opponent down here in the teal in the bottom right.
SK Telecom T1 Classic, Kim Do.
Was a Terran player in StarCraft 1, probably showing why he's so damn good in StarCraft 2.
Terran was a tricky race at StarCraft 1.
It certainly was.
Very unforgiving.
Had to have a lot of skill to use it.
Yeah. It sounds like StarCraft 1 Artos is talking right here.
That's a very quick gateway coming out of Parting there. Could be a fast gateway build. Could be a really quick Oracle as well, though. In fact, I would guess it's a very quick Oracle.
Yeah, it could be. And if that Oracle gets in there and gets a lot of probe kills, that's going to really screw up his opponent's economy. It's a little baby. That is so cute.
So cute. Oh, she's clapping. Oh.
What if we find out she was watching League of Legends on that phone?
Dead game, man.
Dead game.
That's all I mean. She's here. Party's right in front of her. 2-time finalist Sue in the booth watching League of Legends. I swear.
Well, we have the first scouting probe coming out.
If we got a picture of League of Legends on there, I'm sure there'd be a Reddit thread flaming the baby. Well, that baby's pretty dumb. It doesn't even watch StarCraft. It's a far superior game.
Doesn't it know StarCraft's better than League of Legends?
All right, well, actually, he's going to go ahead and chrono the Warp Gate research. Doesn't have full probes on gas, so this isn't actually going to be a really quick Oracle.
Yeah.
Instead, it looks like it's going to be a quick Warp Gate rush. Maybe a 3-gate.
Well, here comes the probe now. Getting a little scouting done here. That Stalker's almost out. We have a Sentry making right now for Classic.
Yeah, and that Sentry's going to give away a lot here.
Yeah.
That's if Parting stays up there. If you see that, then... I mean, Parting has to be happy with his opening build, right? Because if he's going to do Warp Gate Rush against someone who's obviously looking to fast expand, that's great. He's going to be able to knock down that Nexus.
All right, 3 gates here. Not really a shocker to see Parting do this build. I mean, he literally, guys, has the best control.
Yeah. No one controls second.
Nobody
really for his race, at least.
Yeah. Well, for Protoss players, he's certainly top tier in just maneuvering around with his units. So this is not a surprise that he's going to go for something pretty aggressive here to try to knock Classic off his feet. Classic. I almost called him Classic. Classic and Partic.
Partic. I love
Classic
Partic.
and Partic.
Wow. Now, we do see the Twilight Council coming down for Classic, so this could be a follow-up into DTs or Blink. I would guess it's going to be Blink. It's more popular now, but going into DTs can be quite strong, especially against builds like this.
All right. Now, he's just out of range of that pylon. And is that a 4th? Oh, that's a Stargate?
Yeah, he's actually making a Stargate. That's very interesting.
Yeah. I love the hallucinated Oracle, by the way. That was really cool. Because that could definitely force Parting to warp in some units back at home.
Well,
if he just is completely not privy to the fact that... oh, hold on.
5 Stalkers, man. Like, he's just going to kill it. That's all there is to it. Going to force a cancel there very easily.
Well, he's got like a half a second. Nope, he did not cancel it. Instead, he triggers the Nexus cannon and will drive the Stalkers back.
The problem with this, if you choose to save that Nexus... this is a build that we've seen a lot in the past. Zest does stuff like this reasonably often. And if you just keep making Stalkers and then you make like 2 Oracles, they literally can't defend everything. They're going to lose the Nexus.
Look at this great control.
Do you see that? He like runs them perfectly here. And he's just kind of like suiciding on the Nexus. Doesn't even wait for it to finish. The thing is, even if the Nexus cannon, you wait for it to run out, you still end up killing it off because the Oracle makes enough Stalkers stay in the main that you just have more.
Yeah.
But anyways, I mean, he shows off his superior micro and is able to kill that off.
And now he's got a nice contain here on Classic. Classic's definitely at a fundamental disadvantage.
That's true, but he does have Blink about to finish. So
and he could, Blink Stalkers are always going to beat Stalkers without Blink.
They absolutely should, or you are really bad at Blink.
You are really bad.
Well, that
Oracle's ready, but he's parked that over by the ramp.
Huh. Kind of interesting. Well, as his Blink finishes up, he just counts the Stalkers at the bottom of the ramp, and when it's time, he can
actually blink
out
just right up there where that one Stalker at the upper left is. Yeah. And
it looks neat. It's just like he's going to kill every unit here.
Well, Parting had the good control early on, but he overstayed his welcome.
Yeah, and he also left an Oracle at home. And he also let his Stalkers take a lot of damage by semi-suiciding on a Nexus that he could have killed anyways just because he had the build order that kills it.
Uh-oh, Parting scrambling right now. Classic moving in. He's got superior unit numbers. He's about to sink his teeth in here on Parting. Parting's expansion's almost done, so he's going to have to make a decision very quickly here if he wants to keep that Nexus or not.
He can't hold that.
I can't imagine, but there's always a possibility he lets it finish simply to try to buy time, because there's also the possibility with Blink, he just blinks up into the main here. So he does let that Nexus finish.
Well, that Nexus is not going to be long for this world, Taste. There's 13 Stalkers out. Like, they're just, these are going to win him the game. That's what that comes down to.
Yeah, this is it, man. I mean, Partying could not hold that GG. A strong opening there from Partying, but Classic batted him all the way across the map.
Just to outline some of the mistakes that we saw in this game, you know, Partying right-clicked on that Nexus, and yeah, he used great micro keeping his Stalkers alive, which actually was very impressive to be able to perfectly time out running them away.
Yeah.
But he didn't actually have to do that because he was following up with the Oracle, and then he made the Oracle and it sat at home instead of going across the map.
Yeah, that was weird.
And then he made 2 sentries for the contain, which you never see, and then kept his whole army there. He overstayed his welcome at the bottom of the ramp, which is something you just can't do.
He did see that there was a quick sentry out. That does tell a lot in the early game.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, why would he get additional sentries like that? Partying there at the bottom ramp? There's just no need for it. You know what I mean?
No, you normally get one.
You get one, and then right when you're leaving, if you haven't seen anything, you still force field the ramp and walk away.
Yeah, like that. It was pretty obvious that he was going to break out soon. You hadn't seen any flying units.
And the truth of the matter is, you did the damage, man. You could don't if you're not entirely sure if it's like a I mean, this is StarCraft 2. Also, you have a clock at the bottom left side of the screen. You know?
Yeah, it was
just a weird move.
Really a disappointing game there from Partying.
You can see Partying a little bit shaken there in the booth, was shaking his head. A bit of a frustrating loss considering he opened so strong, but Classic just stuck to his guns and finished out his tech and was able to counter and win.
Yeah.
The map that Partying is picking is Merry-Go-Round.
All right. Well, we'll see how he goes on this one. It is a mirror matchup, so no real big balance stuff to talk about.
Thanks, Artos. It's a great contribution.
No problem, man.
Game number 2 here was Partying and Classic.